Democratic races in Northern Virginia that I'm paying close attention to. Well, that will show you the direction of the Democratic Party in Virginia, really. Because heretofore, in Northern Virginia, the Democrats have been relatively moderate in their voting.
Tremendously moderate.
Because it's the old Biden-Clinton era.
Law, Janet Howell.
Because they came up in the 90s and the 80s and the 90s with the Clinton Democrats.
Peterson, Serval.
Yeah, all those guys are...
Marston. None of these guys are
they're not
liberals.
No, they're really not. They're pragmatic.
They're Clinton Democrats.
They're pragmatic.
And I don't mean Hillary
liberals.
They're Bill Clinton Democrats.
Yeah.
All of them.
All of them. But they're all being challenged from the hard left.
By nutball Congress.
Well, I'll just say, being a little bit more gracious.
Nutball Congress.
Yeah, but there's five. There's Hala Ayala and Jennifer Carroll Foy, Dave Marsden and Heidi Drauschak, Chap Peterson and Saddam Salim, George Barker's against Stella Pekarsky, and did I get them all? And Jeremy McPike's against Elizabeth Guzman. Those five races. And it's basically, outside of Arlington and Alexander. This is like Fairfax, that band of where Republicans used to have senators and delegates. And if that goes hard left, which I don't think it's going to, that's the bellwether for me in Virginia, but also nationally. How hard is the Democratic Party going to go? And going back to your previous conversation about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., if those five go in, a month time, Robert Kennedy Jr.'s got a real shot.
If the five communists go down.
Yes. If they win. If the hard left five beat those incumbents, or it's the majority of those incumbents, 3-2, let's say, that tells me someone from the left can come in and really challenge Joe Biden.
Help Bobby Kennedy when he's challenging Biden from.
It doesn't help Bobby Kennedy. It doesn't help Bobby Kennedy per se. It just says we can take out Biden.
We can take out, somebody can take out Biden.
We can get him. He's vulnerable.
Because it's gettable. Right. You look at those five races, those five Democratic senators in Northern Virginia. None of them you would consider to be woke super liberals.
They're not. They're not.
In fact, some of them they're pro-business. They've always been.
Well, Marsden was a Republican.
Yeah, Marsden was a Republican, pro-business. Chap Peterson
he's pro-business. Virginia Free endorsed him.
Chap Peterson, the guy's just common sense, right?
He's a wonderful contrarian.
He's a wonderful contrarian, but I mean, the guy's he's not these are not woke.
They're not.
They're not part of the woke liberal mob.
No.
Right? They vote for business. They vote for tax cuts. They vote to get, that's Janet Howell.
Yeah.
George Barker.
Dick Saslaw. That whole
Chap Peterson, Jeremy McPike.
And that, John, that has been the brand the Virginia Democrats have built over the last quarter of a century.
In Northern Virginia.
Throughout the state. Mark Warner won in 2001 with Tim Kaine, but they ran on, we're not scary Democrats.
Well, now we're
going to be competent. We're going to get things done.
When they took the House over, they became scary Democrats because
they've been waiting.
Crackpots won.
Well, they didn't know how to control themselves, as most majorities that have been in waiting finally get the chance to do things. And even then, the tension between the House Democrats and the Senate Democrats was palpable. Palpable. They couldn't even pass a procedural resolution to determine how they were going to run the operation of the legislature together. That never passed. They couldn't agree on how to agree. I mean, seriously. They had their own internal problems, and that's why they lost. One of the reasons why they lost the majority again. They gave it back. And barely so.
I think the House Democrats are